Hello, this is R.P. Wolf. I'm an author of 5 action-packed, page-turning, suspense, and paranormal thrillers. The purpose of this video is to show you how to use Kindle Create. I've written 5 books, and the first 4 of my books I created using HTML from scratch. Under that situation, I had more control, but it was definitely more time-consuming. Now my 5th book is Mother of All the Gods, and I'm using Kindle Create for the first time. Now it is definitely easier and quicker, and the version that I'm using is 1.52.6, and it was created in March of 2021. Perhaps by the time you watch this video, they'll have newer versions out because they do it all the time. Now what Kindle Create does is it creates a KPF file that you can upload to KDP, which then converts it to a MOBI file which can be read on Kindle devices. Now, it does have limitations. For one, it does not create an EPUB, so you can't put it on any platform other than Kindle, which for me is not a problem because I utilize the Kindle Unlimited format, and so I only sell my books in Kindle format as well as Audible. And then it does not do a great job at creating the paperback. I tried to do the paperback through there. I called KDP and they advised not to because it was in the beta phase. And the problem with the paperback version is that it doesn't create a PDF file. You don't know how many pages you have. And without knowing how many pages you have, you can't do a paperback cover. Now, in addition to this Kindle Create video, I'm also doing a video for how to create a paperback from Word. Creating a PDF file that can be uploaded to KDP. And I also have a previous, it's a couple years old, a video on how to create a paperback cover in Microsoft Publisher. But on this book, Mother of Gods, I actually paid someone to do my cover, and they actually did a very good job, I thought. And then I'm going to have another video on how to use Audacity to create an audiobook for authors. And in this book is the first book where I've done the audiobook myself. And the advantage of that is that it allows me to further edit my book, because when you read a book, you notice stuff that you don't normally notice when you're editing. So now let me get started with Kindle Create. Okay, now we're going to start on the Kindle Create. And the first thing I want to do is I want to go to my Word document where my master is. And here is the master of my book, Mother of All the Gods. It is 92,000 words, so it's a pretty big book. And the first thing I want to do is when I have a master copy, I always have it as a different background. I need to get rid of the background. So that's just really easy. I go to Page Color and choose No Color. Now another thing I want to do is I want to go to View and go to Navigation Pane. And I want to briefly talk about styles. So in this case, you want to use styles when you're writing a book, and like every one of these chapters headings is a style. It's a heading, and I refer to it as a heading 2. And so every one is a heading. And then I also have another style for what I call broadcast. Like broadcast is where someone's talking on the radio, and I have it slightly indented. And wait, where is that? Where is that at? Okay, it's right here. So if I wanted to change that here, I would just go to Modify, and I would change it here, and it will change it wherever broadcast style is being used. So that's what styles is so powerful. I would use it not only for writing a book, for your job as well. All right, and then I have normal. Here's my normal style, and that is when you're writing a book, you have the first line of the paragraph indented. So every paragraph is indented, and that's just the way books are written. And I just want to go over some basic formatting issues. All right, when you're writing a book, or when you're doing anything, when you're at work or doing an email, you only have 1 space after the period. Now, the old school way was 2 spaces, and that's because I guess typewriters weren't the greatest, and I guess this part here would overlap. So they use 2 spaces, but that has been gone for a long time. That is really considered old school. And if you do have 2 spaces, either when writing a book or when you're at work, you are looking like a dinosaur. It is totally out. And then also, you want to use right justification. If you look at any book, it's always right justification, or any magazine or online newspaper article. So that's all I have for this. So you want to have it set up to where your chapters are separate headings, so Kindle Create can identify it. In this book, I have a prologue. So I created a title here. Here's a title page, and here's the copyright. Here's the dedication. Unfortunately, you'll see when we bring this into Kindle Create, it doesn't really handle these title and copyright page well, but it's easy to correct. So let's go ahead and search for Kindle Create. And I'm assuming you've already downloaded the file, and there's other YouTubes out there that shows you how to download the file. Okay, so what we're going to do is this file is a little tricky, but it's not that intuitive. But if we want to create a new file, so you highlight that, and you would think open an existing file, but no, that doesn't do it. It wants you to look for a KDP file. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit choose, and then from choose, we're going to hit this choose file where it says, a doc, or these are Word document files. So I have it already set up in my desktop. Here's the book. So it's going through, it's importing it, it's converting it. Remember, this is 92,000 words, so it might take a little while, but it's not too bad. And it'll let us know when it is done. So I'm going to keep this on here. I just tested it. It doesn't take that long, like maybe 30 seconds. Look at that. Import successful. So I'm going to hit continue. Then I'm going to hit get started. And now it's going through a bunch of stuff. And now it identifies those headings that I use. And it wants me to accept these headings. And one thing I notice, it doesn't have my prologue. So my prologue is really a chapter. And it captured this title page, but I don't want that title page to be considered a chapter heading. So I'm going to deselect that, and then I'm going to hit this button at the bottom that says accept it, select it. So I brought in all these chapters. And it didn't bring in any of the back matter, which was acknowledgments and about the author. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to prologue, and I want to make this a I didn't get rid of the blue background. Bummer. I gotta stop. Okay, I'm back. And what I did was I did get rid of the background, but I forgot to save it. So I brought it in, without the background. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to deselect, as I mentioned before, I'm going to deselect that. Whoa, what happened here? I'm going to deselect this title page, I don't need that. I don't want it to be a chapter heading. So I'm going to say accept, select it. And now what I want to do is I want to make this prologue a chapter. Now, one thing I originally looked at is I would just right click and convert it to a chapter, but it doesn't allow me to do that. So I figured it out. All I had to do was go over here and just hit chapter title, and it brought it down here. Now, here's the title page, the copyright, and to Alexa that I brought in from Word, but they needs to be up here, and there's no way to convert it. I want to convert it to a title page, but it doesn't give you the option. Same thing with the copyright. I would like to convert it to a copyright and bring it up here, but no. But it's really easy. All I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and delete all these sections. Let me back up a minute here. Okay, so let me go and do the title page first. So title page, I just type it in, Mother of All the Gods. No subtitle, by R.P. Wolf. Publisher, R.P. Wolf Books. So I hit create page. And then I can always edit this page. And then I want to create a copy. Well, let me go over here to copyright, and I'm just going to copy this. Control C. And I'm going to go over here to create copyright. And I'm going to fill this out. Year of publication it's required. And then I'm going to come in here and copy my copyright that I did. And then it doesn't create the spaces that I want. And so I'm going to create the paragraphs. So I hit create page, and there it is. And then I can always go back and edit it. And then I also want to do the dedication. And then these are, now that I've done those front matter, I'm going to delete the section. Okay, then it's the same for the back matter. So let's say I want to create about the author. Oh, I'll just go and do acknowledgments. So I would go to my Word document, which I unfortunately don't have up. I closed it out. All right, so let me go down here to acknowledgments. Control C, go back to Kindle Create. Whoa. Oh, you know what? It did bring it in. It did bring it in, but didn't treat it as a separate heading. So let me see what acknowledgments looks like now. Okay, so I did bring it in, but okay, so I'm glad I showed you that. In my book here, I have these back matter, and it just lumped it with chapter 49 in Kindle Create. So what I need to do is to really go in here and delete these within Kindle Create, which you can do. But I'm not going to do that, you know, for purposes of doing this drill. So what you want to do is you want to establish your front matter, or create your front matter, and then create your back matter and correct it from being in this last chapter. I guess what you can do alternatively is on your master file, just take it out of your master file so it doesn't even come in here, so you don't have to go through that extra step. Okay, so one thing you have to do is you want to check out the you want to choose your theme. And I'm just going to, choose the modern current one, but you can use classic or Cosmo or one of these, and it will change it for the whole document. But we're going to keep it with what the default is. All right, so prologue now is a chapter, and then here is a chapter subtitle. So I'm just going to use the default that they have here. And then I'm also, for every first paragraph, I'm going to choose their default first paragraph, which I do this drop cap. Now you can go into this, and then you can go to formatting, and you can change it, the formatting of it, which I'm not going to do here. I just went with the default formatting. So what I have to do is, I have to go to each first paragraph and do this. And what's really nice though, Kindle Create automatically created my chapter title headings, and here I had to tell it to subtitle, chapter subtitle, and then so what I have to do is I have to go in. All you gotta do is click anywhere in the first paragraph, and so I'm going to go to this first paragraph. Okay, one thing I want to show you is, let's see how Kindle Create handled that broadcast format. So here is part of the broadcast format where it was indented. So it brought it in and adjusted it. It's really nice. So I don't have to do anything. It automatically captured my broadcast style. Let me do a couple more first paragraph. So when you choose this, it also creates a space between the chapter title and the first paragraph. Okay, there's one more thing to do, is to go to, I have separators sometimes. I'm sure you do too. Like here are separators. And this is not, I don't really like this separator, but they have a separator format, or element as they call it. And so I'm going to use theirs. And then I'm going to go to the next one. All right, let's see what's going on. I should have had this. Trying to find the next one. Okay, let me just back up a minute. It wants us to save. We need to save. So let's hit save. And I'm just going to take the default name here. And it's going to save it in my desktop. And so it's saving a project. It's not a KPF file yet. But let me go and try to find that. My next scene. Okay, here. So what I would do is, instead of searching for it like that, I'm going to do Control C. And my phone is going off. Okay. So I would change it to separator. But then now I would do find, Control V, and find the next one. And then I can go over here and change them. So it's quicker this way. Okay, so I would do that for the whole document, but I'm not going to do that here. All right, so let me see what else I need to tell you. Okay, so if you wanted to use this to create a paperback, which I don't suggest, but you would go to these print settings, and here you can choose the format that you want the book to look like. The problem with this is that it doesn't, as I mentioned before, it doesn't give you a PDF file. It doesn't create a PDF file. It doesn't tell you how many pages. And if you don't know how many pages, then you don't know, how to. You can't make the cover because you need to know how big to make the spine. Perhaps in future versions they might correct this, and then maybe it'll be better. But as I said, I will have a video on how to make a paperback from that Word document that I just showed you. Okay, so now let's take what you want to do is you want to do a preview. Let's just go back to the title page here and hit preview. And it automatically opens up. This is what it's going to look like on a tablet, but I usually I like to go to the Kindle e-reader. And so here you can see what the book is going to look like. And I would go through this in great detail. So here's, the chapter heading, the sub chapter heading, and then here's the first paragraph. And again, here's chapter 1. And I just want to get to where the broadcast format comes into play. Okay. So I got the separator here, the broadcast format. So I would go through each page and really check this out, make sure nothing is wrong. Okay, so now that we've done the preview, now we want to actually generate the KDP format. So this is like really quick, way quicker than the old way I did things. So all you got to do is hit generate. Or let me back up a minute. So that, remember how we saved the file, and I want to save it again. So what does that look like? So it creates this file folder here, and when you double click on it, this is a Kindle Create file, but it's not a KPF file. It is just a file to get, if you wanted to go, remember when we went on there, it said choose an existing file. This is the file you would choose, and it would bring in all those resources. So let me go back here. Just wanted you to see that. So now we're going to generate the KPF file, and I'm going to hit generate. and it's here's the directory it's going to go into, and as you can see it says KPF, so I'm just going to hit save. And again, this is 92. Okay, so it says, hey, if you're ready to publish. So you would go to KDP and start your book, and you would, instead of uploading a Word document, or an existing Mobi file, you can upload this KPF and it'll convert it to a Mobi. So I'm just going to hit OK, and I want to show you what it looks like. So it created this KPF file right here, and that would be the file you would upload to KDP. As you can see it says KPF file. Okay, so I hope this helped everyone. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. And I hope you have a chance to read some of my books.